Hello. This video is the personalities of people in the future. Talking about the future is a great thing, and I think I'll make that its own video. But, you know, well, that's its own video. But anyway, so the personalities of the people in the future. What are people in the future going to act like? We always like to talk about what the future is going to be like technologically wise, but what's going to be the acts? What's going to be the way that people act in the future? What kind of accents are they going to have? What kind of vocal inflections are they going to have? How are they going to move their hands around when they talk? How are they going to express themselves? Well, I think one way to envision how people are going to act in the future, and when I say future, I mean like once the Earth is all one country, new world order, when we don't have to work because our GDP is strong enough and we have free energy, and we're basically living in a utopia. How are we all going to act? When there's no more war, and when there's no more prejudice, no more fear, no more control, when people are able to think for themselves, all this stuff, how are we going to act? I think, and when we're integrated in a galactic society with all the other aliens like Star Wars and Star Trek, I think a good way to envision how people are going to act is basically to just listen to the aliens when they talk to us. When Bashar talks to us, he's a gray alien human hybrid from 300 years in the future. And then when spirits talk through spirit channels, like Seth from Jane Roberts. Seth and Jane Roberts and Bashar, they talk really similarly. And Cryon, he's an alien, Cryon of Magnetic Circle, or Magnetic Service. I don't even know who he is. I guess he's a spirit. They all kind of talk similarly. And they talk through the heart. They talk through excitement. They talk like a child. Remember, I think people are going to be like children. Remember when you were a child, or you know how 5 and 6 year old kids are, where they'll suddenly start laughing and put their arms around and spin around and around and around and just start laughing, and then just run around in circles for no reason, screaming and laughing because they just feel like it. And I think we don't do that now because we eventually got suppressed into doing it, because you know how when little kids do it, because they do it like in the middle of a Target, and their mama goes, "Stop that, you're embarrassing me, stop it." And then they go, "Oh, okay," and then they stop it, and then they try it again, and then they told to stop it until they finally get conditioned to stop it. So they don't even start it, and then they get used to not doing it, and then they just stop doing it, and then they forget how to do it, and then next thing you know, they're just they're adults. And then they're trying to get their kids to stop it because they get embarrassed because their kids are doing it. So like, why would you get embarrassed, number one, if your kid is running around laughing like that? People like to watch that kind of stuff. Some people like to watch other people be happy and running around. It's screaming and crying and yelling that's annoying, not laughing and jumping around. So I think, once people aren't paranoid about other people, looking at them and thinking they're weird because their kids jumping around, then they won't stop their kids to do that. Then people will never be conditioned to not do that, and everybody will always be like that. So you'll have adults who will talk just like, Bashar, Cryon, and Seth do, where they talk really loudly. You know how when you get drunk, that's kind of like when you break inhibitions. I think everybody will talk basically like they're drunk. You talk really loud. I think people in the future are basically going to start talking really, really loud all the time, inflecting their voices up and down to illustrate a point and make a stress on something, become a lot more animated with their hands. And people are going to be acting goofy all of a sudden, like going into alternate personalities, like talking in a different accent just to illustrate that they're giving an example of another viewpoint, and then they just not give the other viewpoint, but they talk in a whole example to give it like that, and kind of everybody will be like Robin Williams, basically. That's what I think everybody in the future is going to be like, up until our politicians. Um, I think our politicians are, even when they give like White House press briefings, they're going to be like up there like, yeah, what's up? And they're already acting a lot more like that now than they were just 30 years ago. Um, and Americans act more like that now than politicians from like less developed countries. Um, so I think they'll just be like, yeah, hey, um, we're so excited about this new law we got. Um, Now I know there's lots of people like on YouTube who make videos where they talk about stuff and they're really animated and yelling, kind of like Glenn Beck or who's that other guy who's on Fox News. And those guys are really animated, and it's kind of like that. Only I don't think people will be animated sarcastically like that and like angry with everybody all the time, thinking everybody's a complete idiot but them. Um, they'll just be excited about what they believe and not excited about being against what somebody else believes. Um, I know I'm not a particularly animated person when I do like my YouTube talking videos. Um, because that's just not how my personality is. I am a very animated person when I talk. Like when I'm talking to a normal person, that's when I start going, yeah. I just need the feedback from somebody. If I'm just talking to a camera, then I'm just going to be like mellow the whole time. But unless, of course, or maybe it's because I'm just one of those people who's conditioned to not get excited when I know people are watching me. So yeah, maybe one day I'll be able to recondition myself and teach myself to be animated again. But that's what I think the personalities of people in the future is going to be like. So how are we going to attain that? How are we going to arrive at that point quicker? I think we are going to have to just not try and put each other in boxes, not tell people to talk at a lower voice, unless of course your ears are hurting. Not tell people that they're weird. Not tell people that they're not like roll your eyes and not want to talk to somebody just because they act weird. You want to roll your eyes and not want to talk to somebody because they're an angry person or they say rude things or they're always trying to go against what everybody else says and they don't listen to anybody, that kind of a thing. Like what they say but not how they say it. Just let people but then you have to, so if you're going to let that happen, you basically have to let people say what they want to. As far as words, vocabulary choice goes. So we really should get rid of this whole you can't say 4-letter words type of thing. That's not right. I mean, and there's no way you're going to control it. I mean, what is it, Sun Tzu, the Art of War says you only fight battles that you know you can win. Well, so you're not going to win a battle trying to get people to not say 4-letter words on YouTube. It's not going to happen. So just give up, dude. People aren't doing it on YouTube. They're not going to be doing it on. The only reason they don't do it on TV is because they'll get fined from the FCC, which we pay a whole lot of money to. So maybe let's just forget about that whole fining thing. We spend too much money on that. Let people say what they want. Yeah, and I mean, imagine the possibilities when everybody can just basically say and be as bouncing off the walls as they possibly want. Then that's gonna evolve all the little stratifications. Sick people compartmentalize different parts of their minds that don't communicate. So like you would act differently towards like formally you act in primitive countries you have the formally acting and the not formally acting. You haven't even have it in the language of Spanish. You have to instead in the two, Spanish and French, and we don't have that in America because we're more advanced, I think. But anyways, that's schizophrenia right there, where you talk with a certain vocabulary in a certain way to this person, professional world, and then you go to your friends and you talk differently. Everybody should act the same around everybody, because if you do that, then you'll be able to say the same things around everybody and be completely honest with everybody. And if everybody's honest with everybody, all the exchange of information in this entire globe of the whole world brain, in which we all represent different brain neurons, is going to communicate and be more integrated. We won't compartmentalize our brain, compartmentalize all of our knowledge, and not communicate with each other as integratedly, and so we'll arrive at the truth a lot quicker that way. So yeah, ultimate, absolute, anarchical freedom. Maybe that's what anarchy is. Maybe I should do a video on anarchy. Anyways, I'm out of time.